Question number 1. With reference to the Amending Act of 1781, consider the following statement. 1. It was enacted to address certain difficulties arising from the Regulating Act of 1773. Second, it restricted the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court over matters concerning the collection of revenue. Third, it established the Supreme Court at Calcutta. Which one which of the statement given above is are correct? The correct answer is A, 1 and 2. Next question, question number 2. Which one of the following was a major objective of the Amending Act of 1781? A, to transfer the administration of Bengal from the East India Company to the British Crown. B, to clarify the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court vis-a-vis the company's administration. C, to establish the Board of Control for supervising the company's affairs. D, to introduce provincial autonomy in British India. The correct answer is B, to clarify the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court vis-a-vis the company's administration. Question number 3. Consider the following statement regarding the Amending Act of 1781. 1. The Supreme Court was restrained from exercising jurisdiction over matters relating to the collection of revenue. Second, the Governor-General and the members of his council were protected from the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court in respect of acts done in their official capacity. Third, the Act abolished the Supreme Court established at Calcutta by the Regulating Act of 1773. Which of the statements given above are correct? The right answer is A, 1 and 2. These are the right answer. Next question. Question number 4. With reference to the Amending Act of 1781, consider the following statements. 1. It required the Supreme Court to respect the personal laws of Hindus and Muslims in matters such as inheritance and religious usages. Second, it excluded the company's revenue administration from the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Third, it established separate Supreme Courts in Bombay and Madras. Which of the statements given above are correct? The correct answer is A, 1 and 2. Question number 5. The Amending Act of 1781 was enacted primarily in response to which of the following situation? A. Conflict between the East India Company and the British Crown over the company's trade monopoly. B. Conflict between the Supreme Court at Kolkata and the company's executive authorities regarding jurisdiction. C. Conflict between the company and Indian rulers over the policy of subsidiary alliances. D. Conflict between the Governor-General and the British Parliament over the appointment of judges. The right answer for 5 is B. Conflict between Supreme Court at Calcutta and the company's executive authorities regarding jurisdiction. Question number 6. Which one of the following correctly describes the significance of the Amending Act of 1781? A. It made the Supreme Court subordinate to the Governor-General and Council in all matters. B. It clarified the limit of the Supreme Court's jurisdiction and reduced its interference in the company's administrative and revenue function. C. It transferred judicial authority from the Supreme Court to the Governor-General's Council. D. It abolished the judicial system created under the Regulating Act of 1773. The right answer for 6 is B. It clarified the limits of the Supreme Court's jurisdiction and reduced its interference in the company's administrative and revenue functions. Question number 7. Consider the following pairs. Provision associated with the Amending Act of 1781. 1. Restriction of Supreme Court jurisdiction over revenue matters. Yes. Protection of the Governor General and Council in respect of official acts. Yes. 3. Recognition of Hindu and Muslim personal laws in specified matters. Yes. Establishment of the Board of Control. Yes. How many of the pairs given above are correctly matched? The right answer is C. 1, 2, and 3 are correctly matched. This one is wrong. Question number 8. Consider the following statements. 1. The Regulating Act of 1773 established the Supreme Court at Kolkata. The Amending Act of 1781 modified the scope of the Supreme Court's jurisdiction. 3. The Amending Act of 1781 abolished the office of the Governor General of Bengal. Which of the statements given above are correct? Answer is A. The Regulating Act of 1773 established Supreme Court at Kolkata, and the Amending Act of 1781 modified the scope of the Supreme Court's jurisdiction. Question number 9. With reference to the Amending Act of 1781, which of the following statement is correct? A. It extended the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court over the company's revenue administration. It restricted the Supreme Court jurisdiction over the Governor General and the Council when acting in their official capacity. C. It replaced the Supreme Court at Kolkata with a new court established at Bombay. D. It introduced a system of diarchy in the provinces. The right answer is B. Question number 10. Which of the following best explains the relationship between the Regulating Act of 1773 and the Amending Act of 1781? A. The Amending Act repealed the Regulating Act and introduced an entirely new administrative system. B. The Amending Act supplemented and modified the Regulating Act, particularly by clarifying judicial jurisdiction and protecting the company's administrative functions. C. The Amending Act transferred the company's political authority to the British Crown. D. The Amending Act replaced the Governor General's Council with a Board of Control. Which is the right answer? So for 10, the right answer is B. The Amending Act supplemented and modified the Regulating Act, particularly by clarifying judicial jurisdiction and protecting the company's administrative functions.